turn up to the book, so I get to open and get a standing ovation, and I get to close, and not necessarily on such a high note. Who here has borrowed money? Who here has lent money? Okay. Who here has heard of the Financial Services and Marketing Act 2000? That's interesting.
Only because of you.
Well, in particular, the Regulated Activities Order 2001. Okay. Now I'm going to preface everything I say here. I'm not an expert in it, but I've gained some expertise in the last 12 months. And this is not advice, so go check it out with your expertise. And as Clive will attest, not necessarily every accountant knows all about this, so be very careful to pick up the right accountant, preferably a specialist in this particular bit of legislation. Does anybody know the penalties for breaching FCA rules?
No.
Anybody?
Prison.
Thousands.
Okay. Prison. How long?
5 to 10.
2.
Oh.
And the fine? The fines? Potentially unlimited.
Yeah.
So I've spent rather a lot of time looking at this, being very careful to try and understand it. So I'm looking at loaning a certain amount of money to somebody. Now, if you, well, I don't have IT up here, but everyone's got IT on their phones. So if you Google RAO60C, RAO60C, it'll come up with some micro print which you can't read, but have a look at it offline. The key here is,
sorry, can you say again?
RAO60C. And actually you need to read through to 60L, but 60C is the key one. Read the lot. It's actually not too hard to read, it's the usual stuff, language of acts, but read it carefully. Now the key here is loans under 25,000. Chris, loans under 25,000.
Yeah.
So asking for 20,000 as a borrower, everybody's exempt. As a lender, under 25,000 is a regulated activity. So if you're into lending money, and we've all heard the Aaron presentation and other trainers, get into SA, just borrow 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, that sort of area. The act of borrowing 8,000, 6,000, no problem. The act of lending 6,000 is a regulated activity, according to this, and the solicitor I paid to advise me. So, if you're getting into a regulated activity and you're not regulated, look out for the potential for 2 years and unlimited fine.
You can't lend anyone any money for free. Can't lend money for free.
No.
Yeah. Can't lend anyone money.
No. Read it carefully. However,
That makes no sense whatsoever.
you get into exempt territory where the FCA cease to take interest over 25,000. So 26,000, 27,000, 28,000, 30,000, 50,000, whatever is exempt. So you can do that. And when you get into high net worth individuals, loans of 150,000 plus, you get into a different level of exemption, but it's still exempt. The reasoning behind this, as far as I can make out, is that they're trying to protect people on the lower levels of lending from loan sharks. So that would appear to be what's behind it. So, big boys and girls lending 150 grand, well, if you can lend 150 grand, you can probably afford to lose it, so the FCA isn't interested and goes, you're on your own. So, that's what it seems to be all about. But there are two key sentences, and I'm just trying to look at them on my micro screen here. There are two key sentences that look for the loan to a business, so a limited company for example, also gets you into exemption, and for business purposes. So you can lend to an individual over 25,000 and for business purposes. So for example, 25 grand might be fit into one of these refurbs. So the business purpose is, for example, obviously you've got a property that wants 26 grand's worth of work doing on it. You can lend you 26,000, you can refurb that one particular property, because it has to be for a purpose, a specific one on purpose, and that falls into exempt land. If Chris wants 20 grand, can't do that without being regulated. So,
I won't tell.
well, it's just be very, very careful on that front.
But are you saying that if I was to lend you 10 grand
Yep.
for something,
Yep.
I'd be liable?
Yes.
And he's going to tell you.
No, that's not correct. If there's an agreement between you, there's no agreement, it says there's got to be an agreement.
Has to be for. At under 25 grand,
Yeah.
that's a regulated activity.
If there's nothing written, you just give it to me.
As a gift.
Well, you've got to
One
prove it.
assumes that there would be something
There you
written.
go, there's the cash.
So if you want to do that,
There's no agreement there.
what you do is you lend Chris 50,000 on paper, and he lends you back 40,000, and the cash transaction's 10,000, and you both in the thing.
I couldn't
Great.
possibly comment.
I think we're
Anyway, go through, read it. Don't spend too much time on it. I say I'm not an expert in it, but I've got a certain amount of expertise. Big caution. Look at 60C.
Thank you.
The two sentences in the middle is where are we? Credit agreement is an exempt agreement if the lender provides the borrower with credit of 25. No, that's not. Sorry, I can't decipher it on the fly. But it's got to be over 25 grand, and for a specific business purpose. The other thing, which isn't mentioned in 60C, which my lawyer advised, is that if you're in the business of lending money as a business, so you're lending money for making multiple loans for interest, then that too is a regulated activity.
You're a bank, you're a user.
You're basically in the business. Whether you're doing it as an individual, if you're certainly as a limited company, then you're a company lending money. So you must be regulated.
Yes.
Must be regulated. No question
okay, I
about
believe
it.
we want
So,
need to be out.
Yeah, they want to
Judge
get
the
some.
word.
I've concluded that.
I'm going to cut straight to Ellie just to say thank
Short,
you for everyone
sweet.
for coming.
Brilliant day, Clive. Well done. Thank you so much. Those in the staying tomorrow, have a great day. We are knackered. A full day has been great, and we're on our way home. And thanks to Bob for telling us that I'm sorry you're going to have to lend me 100 grand. Okay? And thanks to Daphne. I thought it was Manchester United football, but never mind. So, brilliant day, learnt a lot. Next FOMO, keep your eyes open for it. We're down in Cambridge. I can't remember what the dates are, but we'll be in touch. Have a great day. Thank you very much.
Thanks.